Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. We want to remind people that this weekend is daylight savings time. It is time to spring forward. So this takes place at 2 a.m. locally on Sunday for us here in Gardner and across most of the United States. And the good news is that sunset is taking a little longer now as a result. So we're getting ready to get into the spring season. It's been a lot more mild of a winter than we expected, knock on wood. But that's always great to see us, getting closer to the warmer weather. So just as a reminder, again, move your clocks forward this weekend between Saturday and Sunday. And as the Gardner Fire Department always looks forward to saying, it is a good time to start checking the batteries in your smoke detector as well. So if you have battery-powered smoke detectors, now is a good time to switch out those batteries to make sure that you continuously stay safe and monitored by those devices throughout the next 6 months until it's time to fall back again in the fall. We want to let people know that Vietnam Veterans Day is taking place on Friday, March 29th at 10 a.m. on the front lawn of Gardner City Hall, as always done in front of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial between the City Hall Annex and the City Hall main building. This is something that the Vietnam Veterans of America in their local chapter here in the greater Gardner area has done several years in a row. So we want to remind people that that event is taking place at that time. There is only 1 month left to get your dog license and update your dog's vaccination records with the city clerk's office in order to avoid a fine and a penalty. Avoid those late fees if you can by getting those licenses to us by April 1st this year. We want to remind people that it is normally March 31st. However, that is on a Sunday this year. So the state has extended the deadline to April 1st. So you want to make sure you get your dog license on or before April 1st. And that is March 31st is also Easter Sunday this year too. So if you're traveling for the Easter holiday, make sure you get that in before you go out on your trip so you don't, again, avoid any late fees and any penalties and fines that you may get as a result. You can also register your dog online if you'd like to. Instead of coming here to City Hall and what tag gets sent to you by the city clerk's office. For more information on that, you can visit the city's website on the city clerk's page, and there's a button that says dog license there that you can click on and get all of that information for you. One thing that we run into every year with this process as well is if you no longer have a dog that you had last year, either the dog now has a new owner or unfortunately the dog has passed away, please be sure to let the city clerk's office know that you are no longer in possession of that dog. We run into situations every year where a dog has passed away, the owner does not notify City Hall, and they get fined and charged. And this is actually something that could end up as a summons to a local district court. Now, as silly as that sounds, leading up to a district court summons for a dog license, it is something that does come up from time to time. So if you are no longer in possession of your dog, please just give a simple phone call and just let the city clerk's office know to avoid any confusion or awkward situations down the line. No one's trying to go after anyone here. It's just we have to follow the process that's outlined by law in the state law as well as our city ordinances. And that says unless we're notified, those citations have to be issued because we have to treat the dog as alive unless we have noticed that the dog is no longer alive or in the possession of the original owner. This month is Sudden Unified Death in Children's Month. This is something that's done every March. So I want to thank the organizations that have reached out to us and just say that the city has officially signed the proclamation. This is available on the city's Facebook page as well for the SUDC month. It's tragic whenever someone passes away, let alone someone who's a child. So we want to support all those families who have gone through those tragic losses and say thank you to all of those parents who have reached out and gotten together to raise awareness about this in the city. It is why City Hall was lit blue and gold this past month. We are looking at the other events that March is also related to those month designations, and we'll talk about those in the coming weeks in these mayor's updates. But for this week's update, we're going to acknowledge that it is Sudden Unexplained Death in Children's Awareness Month here in the United States. We want to then just close off by letting people know about some events that are happening over at the Gardner Museum on Sunday, March 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. Local contemporary landscape painter Mark Laurie is having his exhibit on display there. His exhibit is entitled Expressionist Landscapes, the First 50 Years. He has done a ton of great work in these paintings, and it really is a sight to see, so make sure you do go to the museum during those times. to see those. The exhibit will run until May 26th during regular museum operating hours. Regular opening times start back on as Wednesday through Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mark Laurie is actually the person who painted the backdrop that you see when you drive by Monument Park in the bandstand. So he's been someone who's really known around Gardner, and it's great to see his artwork on exhibit there. But since St. Patrick's Day is also coming up, we also have to remind everyone that on Thursday, March 14th at 6 p.m., the Irish Step Dance program under Annie O'Connell will perform back at the Gardner Museum again to kick off St. Patrick's Day. Reservations are required for that event. So if you'd like to see the Irish Step Dancers at the Gardner Museum, you have to contact the Gardner Museum first to make a reservation at 978-632-3277. Again, that is 978-632-3277, or you can find more information on the Gardner Museum's website. We've been notified by our annual paving contractor, Mass Broken Stone, that their asphalt plant officially opens for the year on May 1st, which means that anytime after May 1st, paving operations can begin back again here in Gardner. I'll let you know right now that we are going to be starting the paving season by finishing up what we started last year over on Fredette Street, Wilkins Road, and Lower Parker Street. Those have the bottom coat on right now. The top coat and final second coat of asphalt will be put on then. And then after those projects are done, we'll be releasing this year's paving list moving forward. We are sitting right now with the DPW director, my office, a couple other different city officials to go through the needs and where we can cover right now. I can let you know right now that we do have way more streets that need paving than we have money to pave. It costs us about $1.2 to $1.4 million per mile of road to be paved. However, we get done what we can with what we have with the money from the state and the money we set aside here in the city. So I'll be sure to let you know how that works moving forward. And these updates will be releasing the streets as they come up and start going forward. We did have a substantial water main break over in the Leo Drive area that didn't look as substantial as it was to begin with. We talked about that a little bit in last week's update. But when the water main break happened, the ground was still frozen. When the ground thawed out this week and was no longer frozen, it caused several different sections of the roadway on Leo Drive where the sediment underneath the road had washed out to collapse. So we will be having to fully, pulverize and repave a small section of Leo Drive where that water main break happened just because of the structural integrity of the road had been compromised as a result of that water main break. And more information on when that paving will happen will be released as it becomes available to us. Yet we really don't know that yet until the paving companies tell us when they're able to get out here and perform that work. Additionally, last week in this update, we talked about the situation with the roof at the fire station. Excuse me. I notified the Gardner City Council at their meeting this past Monday that the city's insurance company, the Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Agency, has fully notified the city that they will cover all 100% of all repairs and emergency repairs and replacement of a like metal roof on the entirety of the Gardner Fire Station for every cost above the city's $5,000 deductible. So we will be going to the City Council asking for an appropriation of $5,000 to cover the deductible from that cost. However, the remaining $1.2 million covering the roof replacement and the emergency repairs that are made are being done 100% by our city's insurance company. So that's great to see that we were able to get them to agree to that. It's probably going to be another 2-3 months before they actually can get out here and put the roof on the building just because of, one, the temperature and the weather, but two, just to get everything mobilized and ready to go. The roof that was there was a lead-lined copper, which is no longer used anymore because people just don't roof their houses with lead anymore. However, we are getting another metal roof put on there too, so it's great to see we're able to move forward with that project that way. So I wanted to update you all on that since it is something that we talked about before in these updates. And then lastly, I'm asking for your input on our parking meter situation in the downtown. We do have a group that's put together of different officials in the city, a couple downtown business representatives, to talk about the parking meter situation in the downtown because we know that none of the meters right now are actually functioning. We do want to remind people that there is a city ordinance that even if the meters are not functioning, it is still a 2-hour parking designated area, so you can't just stay and park there as long as you want. However, we are looking at either replacing the meters and moving forward with a different plan this coming spring. So if you have any input at all on how the meters are doing downtown, if you want new meters, if you want kiosks, if you think it's better without the meters, you need to let us know now. So please send your input to my office, and we'll be sure to take that input and into consideration when we're making the decisions as we move forward. That concludes this week's Mayor's Update. As always, if you have any questions on anything that we've said at all during this time here, please feel free to contact my office at any time and we'll be able to get that information to you right away. Thank you very much and have a great day.